Yeah, just checking to make sure you can hear me.
I can hear you just fine. Hello, and welcome to another episode of TacoBytes, your daily bite of Degen, episode 548, live with CPUcoin's founder, Sean. I want to do a quick shout out to everyone joining us on LinkedIn, 0xDegen's YouTube, Player One Taco YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, actually, no, not Twitter, Telegram, Instagram, Unlonely, Rumble, and Kick, as well as those joining us everywhere else. Sean, how are you doing today, sir? GM. We can hear you.
Everything is extremely delayed.
Okay.
Like I can hear a minute ago now. I hear you talking. It's something's all weird. I don't know what it is.
Oh, okay. You muted yourself, Sean. So this is the greatest thing ever. We have CPUcoin founder Sean joining us. You're muted right now. I'm going to take you off mute. You're mute. You took your mic off. There you go.
You hear me now?
Yep.
Okay. I cannot hear you. So I accepted the connectivity, but for some reason it's really delayed, and I don't know what that's all about when I hear the mic. So I'm going to switch to. I'm just turning the Bluetooth. I'm turning the headphones are off. So, but I still can't hear you, unfortunately.
Can you hear me now?
I don't know why that is.
Technical difficulties. We're gonna have help Sean get this fixed.
Yeah.
Go to settings
and standard definition, resolution, 1080p, audio, echo cancellation. I'll turn that. Oh, here we go. Speaker. That's the problem.
Can you hear us now?
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. So.
All right.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right.
Now we're good. There's some weird feedback loop going on there.
Yay! We got it fixed.
How are we doing now? Good.
We're doing
yay. Okay, perfect.
All right. So, Sean, we have a bunch of people joining us, more trickling in across the different platforms, and we'll have a ton of questions.
Cool.
First off, want to open up. The show is brought to you by Sweeper Finance and Raise Finance, bringing stable yields as well as helping your project grow, raising dollars for your company. Reach out if you need any support on that. One of our clients is CPUcoin, but as we've had our show going on now for 548 episodes, I've known Sean for about 2 years now, I would say, a little bit over.
Yeah, I think we met a couple times at the Coin Agenda in Vegas.
Yeah. And so we want to ask everyone to like and I don't care if you subscribe, but like and share this, because we're going to be talking over the next who knows how long about Sean, about CPUcoin, and who knows what we're going to talk about, you know. But we're gonna
Yeah,
we're gonna dive right in. Anything
great.
you want to open up with, Sean, first before we hop into things?
No, it's great to be here. I haven't done one of these in a long time. I've had a lot of interviews over the years, and I'm really glad to be here with 0x degens, and I'm personally very excited about what's going on with our partnerships and our release schedule and everything that's happening after years of development. So I'm excited to get going.
Perfect. So one of the things that wanted to sort of get into. So yep, that is Sean is messaging out to everyone GM in our comment section. And so, Sean, how long have you been in blockchain?
I got into blockchain about 2018. I was a little late to the table, but I decided that it was the right thing to do to to look hard at what's going on for the next generation web, and what that means and how it all ties together. And I started by doing a world tour, looking at what was going on with blockchain and cryptocurrencies globally. And that's where I kind of reconnected with my old friend, and who used to be our PR firm back in the day, a guy named Michael Turpin, who's from Transform Group. You may recognize Michael.
Michael Turpin is one of those pillars. You
Yeah,
know, I think he's been part of, like almost a serial entrepreneur. He's part of like 300 plus projects in some way, shape, or form, because he's been
correct.
around for so long.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
he's a great source of information. Really big in the scene, big in Bitcoin. Talk about
Hmm.
a Bitcoin maxi. So what was your first
Yeah.
crypto that you bought?
The first crypto I bought. Wow. I've been pretty bullish on XRP for a while now. And I happen to know there's three founders actually, that are involved, two of which and one that you don't. He's very private, but he's an old friend of mine, and he's the guy who did the algorithm for Ripple to finalize transactions. And so I'm a big believer in what they're doing, and I think they have a lot more traction than people realize, actually, globally. So that's been a long, hard fought battle, and I think XRP is going to be one of those, diamonds in the rough, similar to CPUcoin, where you have real utility and it's going to go ballistic and it's going to be a global standard.
Yeah,
Of sorts.
we're seeing different governments accept XRP at a banking level,
Mhm,
being announced as a currency, digital currency.
mhm.
There's all sorts of things. I'm bullish on XRP as a standard, um, you know, and excited to see what they do. Especially since we had, we've had John Deaton on the show as well, as he's a big advocate for the XRP community.
Yep, yep.
Not Ripple, but the community.
Yeah, yeah.
And so there's been a lot of good stuff there. What do you see? So you're saying Ripple XRP was probably the first thing you bought?
One of the first things, yeah, because I knew one of the big guys there, and ETH and BTC, a little bit here, a little bit there. Did some arbitrage in BTC for a while. I've gone through a lot of different initiatives, but I really tend to from a kind of token buying strategy, but I really tend to focus on building stuff rather than being just really focused on trading myself. So I'm a
Mhm.
I like building things, and that'll last and stand the test of time. So that's really why I usually focus on what I'm building next.
Yeah.
And that's what we're here to talk about a bit.
Yeah, we definitely are. One of the comments that came up between, just to answer quick questions before we move on to CPUcoin and your history, Sean, what someone was asking what the difference between Ripple and XRP. Ripple is the company above the foundation that is separate from XRP. XRP is the token or the ledger, XRP ledger, where Ripple is the foundation, the company that is separated from. So,
Right.
great question that Milton is asking, Sean. What are some of the things that you've built?
Well, over the years, I kind of got into games way early, and when I first moved to California, my first job that I took was at a company called Spectrum Holobyte back in 1987, and in that first first couple of weeks that I worked at the company, they threw me a game and said, "Hey, take a look at this and tell us what you think. Nobody else has picked this up. Electronic Arts passed, Activision passed, Bruderbund passed. If you remember an old company called Bruderbund, and a lot of companies, they all just passed on this game because it was really basic. And I brought it home and had played with it for the weekend and brought it back in and said, look, I'd love to produce this game. It's super addicting. I think it's simple. We can do a lot with it. And that's when, I ended up producing, 8 versions of Tetris before the movie. I'm the game that they looked at, in the movie, in regards to the thing that triggered them to go ahead and do the Game Boy version. And so my first game ever was Tetris, and I did all the US versions of that on PCs, DOS, Mac, Apple II Plus, Commodore 64, Amiga, Atari SD. Remember the old game machine, the old days?
Yeah.
And that, the rest is history. I mean, it's the #1 selling game of all time. It was my first game, so it was just a good thing to a good launching pad in California. I did that, and then I moved on after that to a company called Micro Illusions, and there's an old game called Fairy Tale Adventure that's a lot of people really loved, and so I did a lot of new versions of that, and I left specifically to do the Hanna-Barbera series of Flintstones, Scooby-Doo, Johnny Quest, and Jetsons, etc. And then I started my own company.
No. I'm
Too
backing
fast.
up. What did
Yeah.
you do at Hanna-Barbera?
Then nobody had ever created any games. So I did those 4 different properties, Flintstones, Scooby-Doo, Johnny Quest, and Jetsons games for a company called Micro Illusions who licensed them. And they also had the Fairy Tale Adventure franchise, and they wanted to expand out and expand the number of games. And so that was a really good first couple of big projects for me. And then I decided to start my own company, Equilibrium, which is still around today. Yeah. And then there's a whole history there of things, a lot of products. Yeah.
So right now, one of the main products within Equilibrium is CPUcoin. When did you first start building out CPUcoin?
Yeah. So to be clear, so Equilibrium has a long history, and that's where I met Turpin actually for the first time in 1996. He was selected at our PR firm to launch Debabilizer for Windows, which is a batch processing tool. So that's a tool that we sold next to Photoshop on the shelves for 20 years basically. It became a standard in batch processing of media, images and animations, and we made it back in the day so you could actually automatically generate animations. So it's kind of interestingly how that is now coming around full circle to generative AI, which we'll get into later. But so we did Debabilizer, and I did a whole bunch of games. I did Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, all the THQ IPO games.
I love that.
I did the Flash, Capcom's NFL football, Bo Jackson baseball football on the Game Boy. When Tetris was out, that was one of the other hot sellers. on the Game Boy that I produced at Equilibrium. And then we did the Debabbilizer product, and that kind of steered us completely away from games. And then we invented dynamic imaging. And I think it's important to understand that the basis for CPUcoin, which is a licensed technology from Equilibrium, is this headless server that can wrap and control anything. And so if you think of dynamic imaging as the beginning of Web 2, which is where you want to create dynamic content that services everything on mobile devices automatically, now Web 3 is the combination of that with other building of the sharing economy. So, I'd love to show you some slides at some point on that. But effectively, what we did was we started CPUcoin as a new entity, and Equilibrium does the initial SaaS services, and CPUcoin is a new decentralized sharing economy of computing power company, creating a proof of productive work miner that allows you to scalably, automatically deliver services on the edge. And we've gone through since 2018 at CPUcoin, we've gone through a lot of development there, specifically on the white paper and the miner, et cetera, so that everything can automatically scale in a sharing economy, which is what true decentralized compute and true decentralized services would have to be, right? We can talk about that, till I'm blue in the face, but it's a big problem, which is that people are building on things that are not truly decentralized.
Right? Okay. So we farmed a bunch of questions from the community and stuff like that over over time and over the last 2 days. And so some of these I already know, but this might be for new people that are listening in. CPUcoin is a decentralized payment tracking system on the Ethereum network, but Computing Global Network, CGN, is what it tracks, right? What is this CGN?
Well, so the CGN is we're in testnet right now with the CGN. The CGN is a Computing Global Network that effectively manages the requests of API traffic and determines what is the right machine at the right time to deliver the request or the type of request and the resulting data. So if it's a dynamic imagery request, we can go to almost exclusively CPU machines because we have very high speed, very low level routines that can do things like automatically scale, read files and scan lines so it can process and scale content faster, do all kinds of crazy stuff that we do with the media rich server. But effectively, the CGN is the traffic manager. It takes the request, sends them to the Computing Global Network, and that machine is assigned to deliver the response. And what you see on the website is actually the response time, including the movement, processing, and generation of new content. So when you see somebody says 250 milliseconds, that's a full round trip to get a new piece of content generated. And so we're doing a sharing economy of computing power that's very high speed that can do edge services in very short periods of time. And that's really what's required for enterprise content services, as an example, right?
Yeah. So one of the things you talked about is this testnet node infrastructure. So anyone can have a miner?
Yeah, so anybody can install a miner today and get 10 CPUcoin a day for free, just for installing the miner. We're utilizing that to do real world processing for some of the current SaaS apps. And we are also doing a number of things related to automatically updating the miner, installing new capabilities, doing a complete automatic scaling edge network that allows us to rapid control anything. The beauty of the tech is that it doesn't require any fancy, individual user coding type setup work at all. It's not it's something that our whole mission in life is to make it possible for anybody of any age and any compute type to be able to easily install the miner. That's the first thing, right? So you can install the CPUcoin miner, and you can another way to contribute to the project is that you can also pay for faster accruals currently. So
Mhm.
you can pay for, some people pay the platinum, and they put in $2,500 and they install the miner, and then they receive 100K token bonus that unlocks with we have a token smart contract as part of CPUcoin that allows us to do vested deliveries. We use it for all kinds of uses, but it's really handy to not have to worry about compliance or worry about deliveries down the road. It automatically vests in place and unlocks your tokens, etc. And then you can earn more CPUcoin as well that way. So a lot of people just choose that way. They to come and get involved with a project, and they can earn more by effectively contributing to the project.
Yeah.
And the thing about that is that we are now getting into GPU processing, and we expect to eventually get into VPU processing. In other words, the type of compute you make available, gives you a higher rate of return. And all of what we're doing in the testnet is determining that and be able to competently automatically update and enable new capabilities based on the computing power you have available.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And so CGN aims to match up potential providers who have idle compute power with those that need it and scale it to suit needs. You showed some of the metrics in your 2019 documents. Has anything changed with global compute power, and how CPUcoin has managed those changes?
Well, first of all, the big change obviously is that there's a lot of interest and need in doing generative AI, right? So now the largest greenfield opportunity ever in the history of man exists, and the combination of things related to um, all of the quandaries and issues around security, and all the quandaries and issues around how do you utilize someone's compute without debilitating their ability to use the machine. A number of factors that have been developed over the years, we have solved. In other words, if you install my miner and you're in a hotel room and you let my miner work, I will pay you more the more compute you give me. But the second you need to go use your computer, we deprioritize the threads, and you'll see them actually power down. So if, let's say, we're running a long running, GPU generation, or we're running a video transcode or whatever it might be at the time, the system can deprioritize threads and even reassign to a new machine if you're no longer available. That is the kind of basic technology that enables the scalability and anybody to be able to install it, not just data centers, which we think is really important, because the whole concept of what we're building is that it's creating a way to offset scaling data center compute with very capable machines that are not necessarily in a data center, right?
Yeah.
And so there's all kinds of opportunities if you think about it, right? You got $11 billion in generative AI investment that has happened just in the United States alone in the last 18 months.
Yeah.
With a B, right? All of those are targets for wanting to, when they launch their service, they're going to have initial costs and maybe even get free compute from different cloud providers. But when they really have a scaling service, their bill is going to be eye-popping. And so we give them a much lower cost to deliver on their generative AI compute power, as an example, right?
Yeah.
And so somebody asked about VPU. Yes, it's if you look, there's H100s, there's A100s. H100s are like the equivalent of like 100 A100s, and can do incredible generative AI compute. and we're in discussion with the data center that has ordered 2,000 H100s. Well, we're saying, hey, you're going to need a way to monetize that when it's not in use. And at first they said, no, the customer's going to need it. And then they came back a day later and goes, it just came up. How are we going to monetize? So
our downtime.
It's really amazing. And the thing is, to be able to do that in a way that isn't constantly an onboarding and offboarding situation, you need our technology. You need something that can say, hey, this is being done. You are deprioritized now. And the system just disappears.
Yeah.
That's the key thing. And that's a big part of what our tech does. Yeah.
So my experience with this is I have, back in the day, 2012, 2013, I was a Bitcoin miner, and I had a computer lab that I had access to. And so I partitioned hard drives into mining operations because you needed you needed a few gigs back in the day to be a miner, but you could CPU mine. And I was using, I think it was GoHash, that deprioritized, and it would turn the miner. It didn't scale down. It just turned off when it was being used, because they didn't have the multi-threading at the time, Right. And so that was one of the things that I did to sort of get into being a Bitcoin miner.
Right.
You talked on it briefly, and we have a question that I want to hop to before we hop to our next question. Dr. Liberty asks, ready to hook up in spec mining on a lot of things. When GPU mining available? And I feel you touched on that, but I want to clarify.
So understand, while we're in testnet, what we're doing is we are testing and tracking. One of the biggest things we're doing is doing data collection to understand the machine's capabilities, the bandwidth available, a number of factors, right? How much compute is available, how many threads are available at any given moment. We only take half the cores. So if we do let's say right now, you install us on a home machine and we're fully loading it with thousands of generative AI requests. The way our license manager works, we only use half your cores. So let's say you've got 8 cores or 16 cores. You'll notice that half the cores will be doing your compute for other things, and the other half are like fully loaded. And that's also something that took an effort. You can't just easy peasy do that on a Windows machine. And I believe Linux, Mac, you can't do that because Mac automatically parallelizes no matter what you do. But PCs and Linux, you can say, I only want to use half of these cores. So, and that's by default what we do. So even if you want to use all your machine, our system will go down, deprioritize. But if it's loaded and you can still do what you need to do in the other half, the first half is completely loaded and processing, and it's set up so that it will not impact your ability to do basic functions and other things. So it's it's very exciting because effectively what we're doing is we're called CPUcoin, but everyone goes, well, when are you coming out with GPUcoin? When are you coming out with? Well, we did one that is which is the core, and we're going to be supporting other GPU, VPU. I don't know if you've heard of VPU, but
virtual processing units, cloud.
Well,
not necessarily cloud, but I deep dive into it. I know it.
Yeah, well, the NEC, it's the NEC technology that effectively is based on it's kind of like the difference between bitmaps and line drawings, right? So they're able to do, like, with a single seed, a full 8 minutes of video generation with a VPU and an NEC chip. So it's pretty cool. There's a lot of great things coming, and that obviously, being one of the largest companies in the world now, there's just monetizing the available compute from what's going on with NVIDIA, is just a full-time job. There's just, like I say, it's the biggest greenfield opportunity on the planet, and I'm glad to be right at the forefront of it with technology that allows us to wrap and control anything with our media script language, and now we're making AI script so that you can wrap and control AI and then use that to make requests over port 8080. That's the beauty of our tech. As long as you got an internet connection, it works. No special ports required. Yeah.
So what are some of the big milestones that have been accomplished? Are there any other big milestones that need to be achieved for the product to be ready for the sharing economy adoption?
So a couple things. We're very pleased with our technology development thus far. We have a number of we have a number of initiatives related to existing airdrops that have been done and purchasers that were done at CoinPro, which is a now defunct company. That was a big milestone for us, and we needed a way to bring those 180,000 airdrop claimers, people who claimed and are purchased through CoinPro, which is a Hong Kong company, and there was a lot of offshore people, and they've been very patient with us. We have created a way to claim those tokens, and we want to bring those online, but we didn't want to pay. So what we've done, the big thing that we did this year, that we're super excited about and really saved us a couple of years of R&D, is the wire network deal. So, if you look at CPUcoin
.io.
and CPU.io, yeah, CPUcoin.io, yes. CPUcoin.io, you'll notice there's a press release on the top right hand corner as you arrive about wire network. So we always knew either we're going to have to build a layer one chain and do like what the guys at Kudos did, or we need to select that chain and our partner for that. And about a year and a half ago on Puerto Rico, we met the guys at Wire, and they reviewed our white paper. The CTO, Kyle Dolan, fantastic guy. He and I kind of hit it off, but only after he kind of stayed up all night long and read everything about me and the company and our white paper and everything that we're doing. And we had in there a microtransaction system, the need for crypto SSO, the need for, a way to secure and have a trustless environment and all the hardware and that's what Kyle and the Wire Network guys were building. And so after I went and met with those guys and did due diligence and spent a bunch of time with them, we decided to go become a tier one node owner operator. And we now are one of the 21 tier one node owners. I think there's a couple actual for sale now with Wire Network still remaining, but once those are sold, they're going to be launching. They've already launched the network. People don't realize it, but Wire.network's already launched and working under services, and it's now going to be their multi-chain, multi-wallet, bridgeless capability is going to be added to the CPUcoin admin dashboard that you see today. That anybody can go right now and install our miner right now as we're talking. You can be done. You can be literally on the network in minutes. That's what I love. I like speed. I like action. I like things that work, right? And so once you do that, we're going to make it so the Wire network capability is effectively providing seamless interoperability with all wallets and all chains. So you got crypto SSO, you got Wire name service for going from .eth and .dns directly over to Web3. So this is a really good question, because at the end of the day, this is what it's all about. You guys, I mean, I always say this: if you're looking at the next meme coin, don't talk to me. But if you're looking at the next real utility, where you're creating something that is really scalable, that everyone's going to, and the conditions for this are right? It used to be there wasn't enough bandwidth both ways, and the computes were not fast enough, and you had to go to a data center to do things. Now you've got monster machines, right? Like M2 Pro Max, custom Apple Silicon hardware, and we do have a Mac, coming out. It's in the schedule to come out soon. A Mac miner soon that'll tap into those G2 computes and their huge multi-core, GPU sets and everything, right? So there's so many different capabilities to support that you have to start somewhere, and you have to start tracking and understanding what all the different machines can do, right?
Yeah.
And so that's effectively what we are doing in the CGN, and very soon we will be going live with the web wallet with Wire Network. It's all in the by the way, there is a if you go look at the website, you'll see, and we're pretty much on schedule right now for the wallet integration this quarter, we're hoping. So that basically the 180,000 CPU, they're back to their question, CPUcoin wallet holders will be able to claim them, have them inside of the Wire Network. No costs. There's no ETH costs here, right? The beauty of Wire is it allows you to transact with all kinds of tokens in their environment without having to pay the toll. And then when you want to go on chain, you want to go into an exchange, you want to do something with it outside of the Wire Network, that is a standard transaction.
So that's going to be,
it gives you microtransactions at 100,000 TPS, which is what we needed to be able to give and deliver rewards to everyone in the network. And it gives you seamless migration from Web 2 to Web 3, and gives you everything you need to be compatible with bridgeless interoperability as well. So it's exciting partnership. And that was a big deal. So that's one of our biggest milestones recently, was that partnership being signed and completed. Yeah.
So that because that's a hard statement if you're looking at 185,000 holders, yet on chain, it won't be seen like that until they move, and so almost like they'll be on an exchange, their own exchange in a way. So
effectively, that's kind of what Wire Network has done. I mean, I don't want to characterize it as that. It doesn't have an exchange, is a single, Ethereum wallet address, basically, where they pool everything and then they just put it in a database entry, who owns what, right?
Yeah.
And to a certain extent, Wire does something similar, but they do something that is much, I wish Kyle was here. He can describe it better than me, right? But they enable you to transact at a much lower cost and do it really fast with micropayments and microtransactions. And then when you go on chain, that's when there's a standard, ERC20 event, or a Polygon or Solana or whatever event. What I love about it is I'm kind of tired of all of these issues around this wallet and this DEX and that thing. And I like the idea of real decentralized, high speed micropayment capability. And then when you want to move to do a liquidity event, or to, do a trade or do whatever, you can do that for the standard, EVM rates, right?
Yeah. So one of the things I wanted to touch on, because you said that people that are mining are getting paid in CPUcoin. So if they're providing processing power, there's right now 5 billion tokens. Are there ever going to be any more, or is that the cap?
Currently 5 billion tokens. We went with that number. We thought it was the right number to be able to do lots of different scalable capabilities and have the right supply for the inevitable deployment and for all the different potential services. We've thought about some other ideas as to where we might need other tokens for governance, et cetera. But I'm trying to, with the Wire Network deal, make it so it's all in one. And so I think it's the right number. We have pools set aside, and it's all on the website of what the pools are for. And they have, you can go and take a look at them. They're all just sitting right there, and the tokens are only being moved when that action happens, whether it's a token buy, or whether it's the payment to a miner, or setting up a pool, or whatever it is. It comes out of the correct pool for doing that. We have an advisory pool, a employee pool, a for sale / miner payout and seeding pool, which is the big one, and then a token swap pool, which is kind of a nice thing. We in advance we said, hey, let's have 8% for doing swaps with all of our partner companies, like Wire Network, like other companies in the ecosystem, that can participate and be mutually incentivized and work together, and everybody can utilize the tokens to use the services. That's the thing about what we've done here. It's a real utility token. So very soon, as we launch new services, such as our Fuse.ai service at Equilibrium, people will be able to, when they're buying points to use generative AI, they're using CPU coins or a fraction thereof, and then that can be used to actually generate images, generate video, etc. in the network.
Okay. So CPUcoin is a utility token that it's used to pay for these generative AI tokens that are being distributed amongst the miners. Are there other services that CPU Network is providing as well?
Yes. So the first service is tweakit.io. So it's TweekIt.io. So tweakit.io, put that in there. And that first service solves one problem that I'm so tired of, that I thought it was a really good first service. And that's what you're seeing. Actually, a lot of the API calls you're seeing on the CPUcoin dashboard right now are API calls from the 3,000 tweakit.io API holders. Okay. And effectively what it does is it allows anybody, let's say you've got a service you're launching tomorrow, and that service needs to ingest an image to create a simple thumbnail for your social, icon, or you want to ingest anything for an NFT mint, and you don't, instead of saying, hey, it can only be a JPEG or a PNG of a certain size, this solution literally solves that problem. It literally says, if your final output needs to be 1024 by 768 or 2048 by 1024, whatever you upload, ingest it with Tweakit, and I will give you automatically in the middle what you need. And it uses our auto conformance technology. It's a dynamic imaging. We have 8 issued patents in the United States on dynamic imaging and Equilibrium. It allows the 450 file types to be ingested and normalized, so that if you've got a service and you have a signature and it says, oh, upload your signature, instead right now a DocuSign, it says not too big, file too big, wrong file type. It happens all the time. It goes everywhere you go, right? It happens when you do KYC. It says, oh, can't open that. Oh, I'm sorry, file type. Only
my
PDFs
banner
allowed.
my banner is never the right size.
Exactly. It's always a problem. So Tweakit literally solves that problem and actually auto normalizes anything from anything, solves the ingest issue, which is a bad taste in your mouth, right? So if the first thing you do is set up an account, right? And the first thing that happens is, oh, rejected, that doesn't work, can't upload this, we solve that problem. No one's ever done this before, but we did it. And it's really focused on that thing. Now we're going to add to that the ability to do generative AI in the middle. And so you can add our widget, and then you can add generative AI, and then you can use APIs and your own UI to have those services in your own website. And it's all using the compute power from CPUcoin.
Someone pointed out that is mad annoying to go through. And
it happens all the time. It happens all
I remember how many different images I had to make for YouTube banners, because they had different requirements for different things. And I had to use the same banner and make like 7 different variations of it.
So what you do with our tech is you literally use our API calls, and you say, I want whatever they upload to always be in this size. And then I want to present the crop window. So whatever they upload, it normalizes it, it reads it, normalizes it, puts it on the screen. And then you can crop and edit a circle or square. You can use your own UI. You can use our widget, and and then you hit the button and it saves it. Or for us, you don't have to use our UI at all. You can just use your own UI and just bake us in, and we solve the ingest problem completely and pass you what your final asset is. as your final request. And each one of those is an API call. Here's the rub. So if you use Cloudinary or FileStack or anybody else, they are literally, and this is the beauty of CPUcoin, they are literally 10 times the price. So if I charge a penny for an image to be processed, they charge 10 cents. If I charge, 0.01, they charge 0.1. So it's a really big cost savings, and that's the results of the sharing economy of computing power.
Yeah. One of the things that I wanted to we touched on for a brief second, and I just want to because I like to drive down on thorns. You said that the partnership with Wire Network was announced in early August of 2023. What are some of the roadblocks that have been getting hit, that why there's been a delay in the token disbursement? What, and that's not on you. This is on Wire Network, I think. But why has there been a delay?
So as far as the Wire Network, I wouldn't say. The fact is that when you bring two companies together that are going to now be partnering on a whole bunch of deals and powering all these different products and services, it takes time, right? And I understand everyone's out there going, we want this, we need that. How can we move faster? Well, a big part of that is also having the resources to expand the team. That's why we're doing this raise on raise.finance for larger token buyers.
Yeah.
Because we're ready to grow. I mean, I've done this before. I know how to grow and when to grow, and this is the time to grow. So we can support the integration and release of the Wire Network capabilities, and they are in the middle of growth as well. And I believe they've recently had some success on their own as well in being able to grow. So there's been some restructuring and work over there, and then we've got our growth that we're working on. We have our new releases happening in parallel, but I can assure you, and we're literally in the middle of swapping source code so that we can do the integration of the Wire.js wallet, which effectively gives us from a website the ability to connect in any wallet, connect in any, and send transactions to and fro any network. So it's a little bit of a challenge, because it's one of the first new companies to use our new WNS name service.
Explain
there are
WNS,
some existing,
please.
Oh, sorry, Wire name service. Wire name service is really incredible. Basically, they are thinking about what is it going to take to seamlessly migrate from a Web 2 site into Web 3. So imagine you're at CPUcoin.io and you are now at the new CPUcoin.io with, instead of DNS, you get effectively redirected from a DNS directly into WNS and it's CPUcoin.io. So it's seamlessly migrating you into a Web3 decentralized app and service. So that's fundamentally one of the things that the WNS does, is that gives you that from ENS and DNS over to WNS. While you're there, once you're in WNS, then you get all the benefits of, we have, as a tier 1 node owner operator, 4% of system resources at our beck and call. And that's out of 210 nodes. That's a lot of compute, actually, for doing all kinds of transactions and confirmations and all the things you need to do microtransactions, etc. So effectively, what they allow us to do is get everything connected with their wallet capability, and the Wire name service is that on-ramp effectively. So the on-ramp you get away from the old method of connecting wallets, and you get into, hey, I've got my name, or I've got my single sign-on login. Now I'm in the Wire namespace, right? and then I can go to all kinds of different services, and I'm not having to constantly re-log in all over the place.
Yeah.
It's pretty exciting stuff. And if you go look at the UPAP protocol, which is bridgeless interoperability, and you look at crypto SSO, and you look at WNS, and you look at that combination of us being their edge, it's a very powerful combination.
Okay. And so one of the things, this might be a question for Wire Network, because this is where going to be within their wallet integration and stuff like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, and I think I remember you saying Q1, but when can users expect to see wallets and coins that they've earned providing power to the CPUcoin? And that you said,
first of all,
Q1?
if I went and go to the admin dashboard, we are accruing it into a CPUcoin Trust wallet today. So if you install the miner, you'll see, if you leave the miner on, you'll see your accruals happening every day. Okay. That by the end of March, we are hoping and anticipating, we think we'll be able to get this done. You'll actually be, instead of our Trust wallet, you'll be in WNS, and you will be given when you claim your tokens and you create your new account, you will be effectively have a random wire name assigned to you. Now we will be creating and launching a name service seller. So if you want a premium name, you can pay for it, kind of like over at ETH, the ETH name service where we have CPUcoin.io.eth, right?
Mm-hmm.
That costs money because it's a persistent thing. There's a fee and there's
branding.
A value there.
Player one
branded value, right? So effectively, we have, as part of our deal with Wire, the .io namespace. So everyone who has a .io namespace that they like and want, they're going to have to pay CPUcoin for that.
Okay. So another
on Wire Network, on Wire Network, yeah.
Okay, so for the geeks, we look at IO as input output. The rest of the world looks at it as Indian Ocean.
Right.
So, and I like naming services because it brings a little conformity. It also brings a little bit more safety rather than having to do with an alphanumeric wallet address. So is Wire Network going to be providing on Ethereum? You said multi-network. So are we going to see CPUcoin on Polkadot or on Solana?
Well, yes. So I believe it's the kind of the reverse. So you'll see Solana, Polkadot, Ethereum wallets inside of Wire, and you'll see CPUcoin inside of Wire, and then you'll be able to transfer, do an ERC20 transfer to and fro from within the Wire network. The token supply and the movement in and out is all seamless. It works with, and what I love about their tech, and this is what I think people are not quite understanding how powerful this is that it's bridgeless. So, it dramatically reduces any risks related to pools being, gutted or what have you, right? Because it's bridgeless between interactions.
All right. So I see what this is. This is a funnel for a single. It doesn't matter if I'm on Solana, Cardano, or XRP. I have a naming service that I can send it to, and it will be in the right wallet. And I don't have to worry about anything else, whether it's a token association or token ID. I have it. It will all go to my wallet.
Yes, and I do believe that once you sign the wallet in your location in the Wire name service, you'll actually see it will just go to the wallets that have that wallet in it as well. So it's basically they're what they're doing is bringing everything together in a seamless fashion, which is, I think, was a really good choice for us. And it also makes it so that I don't have to spend, 300 grand to distribute, tokens to 180,000 people.
Yeah, no,
right?
That's a hard thing. So we talked on this a little bit earlier. where CPUcoin software is available on all operating systems. Right now, it's just PC and Linux. You said Mac build is coming out.
Mac's coming out. We're effectively creating a Mac miner, but it's taken a bit longer because while we were doing this, Apple Silicon kind of got released. So we really want to, when we release the new Mac miner, we really want to take advantage of all the new, incredible amount of computing prowess that Apple has released into the marketplace. And see what we can do there with some of their new technologies as well, and
What
related
about
to AI.
as phones become more and more powerful? What about mobile miners?
Yep, that's on
iOS
the
and
menu
Android?
that's down the road. I mean, we have that on. We intend on basically making miners that will allow us to launch, CPUcoin as an initiative across Africa, so that everybody who 90% of the people in Africa, and their whole computer is the phone. That's all they have is the phone, right?
Yeah.
So you have maybe it's not 90%. It's a very big number depending on where you are. That is their communication source. That is their. So if you have it plugged in, it becomes a miner at night, and it becomes a decentralized edge network for doing all kinds of different potential transactions. Mind you, the whole idea of the system is to do what's appropriate for the device and the bandwidth available. So we're constantly tracking and understanding what the capabilities of every machine are. We're really excited about what we're about to, start with the Fuse.ai, which allows you to effectively take, Civet.ai models, and instead of having to set them up, you can just request what you need, and we go find the machine that can do it now. And if it doesn't do it, it will provision it, and then a minute later or 10 minutes later, it's available for you to now do whatever you need to do. And then we leave that, knowing that that's now available, we leave that on and ready for future activity. So it's pretty cool. Per minute billing on hosted cloud services is also very cool. Not a lot of services do per minute billing, right? They're hourly or daily or monthly. And so we're about per minute or per image or per asset generated, right? Okay. And that requires a microtransaction system that makes it possible to do that. And so everyone gets paid at the beginning to the end of a transaction. So everything's done. So everything is all completed at the end of the transaction. And that requires you to be able to pay out 0.0002 CPUcoin, right?
Yeah.
So
and that's where, if the transaction cost is more than the asset itself, that's where we have prohibitive pieces. And so that's something that I think is really interesting with Wire. So one of the questions on the 185,000 users that are using CPUcoin network and providing services, I just lost. They're just airdrop hunters, but they're also miners and providing CPU power. Are there any enterprise solutions? Are there any enterprise solutions that are providing these services as well?
Well, so are
they all retail users?
Yeah, so we're B2B to C. So we create capabilities that are on the CPUcoin sustainable platform and network, and those capabilities are auto scaled on the edge with the miners, and enterprise customers can deploy solutions on our network. We're focused on our solutions now. So we're focused on the equilibrium, tweak it, and Fuse.ai services initially. And Fuse.ai is really going to be, with the new video capabilities that are out there, and text to image, text to video, etc., and be able to generate very high quality content. That is something that that's CPUcoin to equilibrium, and then equilibrium out to many. So it's CPUcoins creates and makes the service scalable, and then the enterprise sells the service or makes it available, and then anybody can adopt it and pay that plan in fiat or other currencies as well. That gets converted into CPUcoin, and then the inevitable goal is, as we expand the services and we expand the miner network, when we go mainnet, if you will, and there's lots of deals happening there when it comes to having lots of compute available. Effectively, what we end up with is a decentralized edge network that auto scales services that anybody can adopt and use, either individually or as an entity or a company that needs to deploy their own service, or as somebody who wants to add as a company the capabilities that we have into their service with APIs. So B2B2C is what we're doing here, and we believe that that's the right long-term plan. So you end up with a lot of people using the services, and you don't even know. It's like what we've always done. We didn't know what people would do with media rich when we originally invented it. We have all kinds of capabilities, but people ended up making everything from Vistaprint to decentralized edge, dynamic imaging that scales, that powers everything you see today, right? So we didn't know what people are going to use. We are kind of getting out ahead of that, so that we can launch a number of services we know we're going to use, right? Of the missing middleware layer for high definition NFTs, so that you can ingest 200 megabyte Photoshop files, mint that, and then have a way to view it anywhere for 10,000 years in the future, with an incentivized network that will instantiate that asset when it's requested, and then everyone gets paid, right? So we're tired of little images this big. We're used to like zooming and panning on images that are, massive, right? And so, that's not easy to do, right? Because even to this day, people who are minting stuff and putting it on their own personal IPFS server, well, that's not decentralized either. The big problem with everything that's happening in the industry is that until it's truly decentralized and built on a sharing economy, it can't be persistent. And until it's a DAO, you're not sure it's going to be existing beyond me, right? So my inevitable goal with all of this is to launch and deploy a DAO that will not require any human intervention to run. And that's what everyone in crypto should be involved with, that if they're going to create in blockchain, if they're going to create something that's going to be around and persistent, and you're trying to power technologies and capabilities that are going to be persistent, you must do it in a sharing economy and in a truly decentralized network that is a DAO, a decentralized autonomous organization.
One of the things, we're going to go back into some of the harder stuff. You mentioned enterprise level use. What are some of the examples of how enterprises use CPUcoin, and how is security handled for this enterprise level use of system? Especially when you were talking decentralization and persistence, how do we counter censorship?
Well, as far as censorship goes, I mean, the whole idea of having something that runs completely autonomously, obviously, is that there is no way of disabling the delivery of things and the generation and the servicing of things if it is truly decentralized and is built on a sharing economy and as a DAO, right? So if you have to have those three things built on a sharing economy that makes it so that it's truly decentralized, so that makes it so that you can actually have a DAO. If you have those three things, you end up with a place where now, hey man, you can't talk to me about it. I can't do anything about it. Well, right now, every service I submit to you, every service today that is in blockchain, that is built on any cloud services, that is not on a sharing economy and is not a DAO, can be taken down.
Yeah. So
if it's on any cloud service, it can be turned off and taken down. So
so that's the
whole
censorship.
idea.
What about the enterprise level of security?
Well, we actually got a top 10 bank to before we had the wire network deal, approve our security model, which is in the white paper. We are now in the process of merging the wire network white paper with CPUcoin's white paper, so that you end up with the best of both worlds together, right? So you end up with wire networks trustless encryptability that is something that's currently unavailable. And I wish we had. I mean, we should do another session here with the wire guys on the call. Would love to have Kyle come in and talk about all of this. But and by the way, another great thing about the due diligence I did with these guys is we looked at everything, and I don't know if you know this, but my chief architect of CPUcoin, when I started the company, I always like to go big when you're making the hard choices and you pay the big money for the best people to make the hard choices, to do the tech specification, to create the architecture, right? And I did that. The guy who did the original architecture was the 23rd employee at NetSuite, and when he left, there were 6,000 employees, and he came on and did CPUcoin with me. Okay. So back to your question, the ability to encrypt and keep track of and deliver content to and fro, and a system for making sure that all of the controlling and manipulation, content manipulation scripts and everything is all encrypted is already created. What isn't there is the new wire network trustless hardware connectivity that basically goes all the way down to the IMM, the Intel, the IMM system that has been in every CPU since the beginning of time, basically, that allows there to be a backdoor to actually see what's going on inside of a compute. I don't know if you know that's true, but it's there. You can go look it up. I think it's Intel Media IME. I have to look it up again, but effectively, you need to be able to audit all the way to the core hardware, so that what your trustless environment, you can actually trust the trustless environment that you're talking about. And the only way to do that is have something that's new that doesn't exist. And that's what the wire network guys they've even thought of that too. So effectively, we're going to merge our capabilities with theirs, and then build all of our encryption and other capabilities on top of that. Plus, you have the new, and this is why I'm saying the greenfield opportunity has arrived, where solutions like I'm proposing now can exist. When you have SGX that allows me to guarantee that nothing in the pipe will ever be decrypted. Because the big issue right now for doing this kind of stuff is there are moments when the environment needs decryption to do the operation. But if you are using SGX as an example on an Intel Core processor, you can actually do the processing encrypted. So you never have a decrypted state for the original asset on disk, a data at rest, all that's all covered. The issue right now is what happens in memory. And so this will be a massive revelation when effectively all compute, all GPU power, all VPU power, and everything that you operate on is all encrypted while it's being processed. And that's what SGX and all these new to the core capabilities are all about. And I'm very excited to be, like I was part of Web 2, to be part of what I believe is going to be the real Web 3 launch here.
Okay. So then one of the questions then is, what metrics are important for viewing the overall health of CGN? Global network.
You'll see. So we if you go look at what we did, we knew that you never know in the network the speed of the connection both ways. So you have to create a kind of a persistent and regular test state that allows you to determine what machine is capable of what at any given moment in time. And that's effectively what the CGN is doing right now live. If I was to share with you, if you want to share it, you can go see the dashboard. You can go see some of those important elements. What machine, what's their speed, available, available and allocated storage. What is the computing power available? Is there a GPU on board? What's the VRAM? All of these different things can be determined, tracked, and stored on a per machine basis, and then you can just do a regular check to see if those assets are real. And you can do that actually by doing a number of different things related to testing the results, kind of doing A/B testing, if you will, on the fly on a regular basis. So when we combine the wire networks capabilities with our constantly tracking of what the compute is available and what it can do, it's a very powerful combination.
Yeah. All right. So your white paper and the docs on CPUcoin, CGN, liken CPUcoin to Airbnb for data to help potential users understand CGN and CPUcoin and situate it in the sharing economy. But Airbnb hasn't exactly turned out to be the original ideal. In fact, it has become less people renting an extra room and making money more about full-scale real estate ventures that have created various issues in communities. Using the Airbnb analogy and current state of Airbnb, can you think of any pitfalls CPUcoin would avoid?
Well, it's funny you say that, because we used to call it, I think one of our old slide stacks that was up there says that we're the Airbnb of computing power, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think honestly, I don't know about you guys, but I gave up on trying to rent places with Airbnb. I mean, every time I try to rent something with Airbnb, it's not there. It's not available. It doesn't work. Nobody responds. It's always something. I don't know what it is, but I just gave up. So we have to be better than Airbnb. In other words, we have to know, and that's why people are incentivized to leave it on. All right. So, Airbnb, you've got 50% of their rental units say they're available at any given moment, and you can't rent them for whatever reason. It's not respond. They don't respond. They don't. It's just an old listing or whatever, or they don't update their calendar or whatever. That's the difference. We know what is available at any given second in the CGN nodes, and so that's a big part of making this all work. Is you have to know the inventory is available, and I believe that a big part of why we're raising funds is so that we can have a very substantial biz dev team that's working on all the new compute that's becoming available. Like I said, a big company was referred to us by Brock Pierce. They have 2,000 H100s on order. As they come in, there's going to be applications for it, and the customer's going to want to use it. But when it's not in use, why can't the customer make money with their current owned compute using our platform? Why not offset your computing costs? We're a big believer in hybrid, cloud, so that even AWS, Google, Cloudflare, all these guys on their cloud services will install the miner on certainly failover machines and potentially stage machines and even on main machines. I think eventually what's going to happen is they're all going to have to play, because people are going to want Web3 services on their network. And they're going to be like, well, we're not truly Web3 because our network is something that isn't built on a sharing economy. So it can't be Web3.
Okay.
Right? They're not going to tell you that, but if you figure it out, it's not truly decentralized. You can't stop it from being shut down. So a hybrid environment where you have all this compute available across all the different network types, including on-prem, by the way. So we have an on-prem status where somebody can install on all their corporate machines, for example, and then use just their internal machines to minimize any risk of loss, and so nothing goes outside of their environment. That's another thing that we've got covered in the plan, so that you can be local, right? So anyway, sorry, I hope that answers your question.
Yeah. It does, but when you're talking, so when you're talking about corporate enterprises using CPU network and downloading it to all of their different machines, does that make an individual user, or will each machine be its individual users? Because I want to really clarify the optics of 180,000 users. Is it really
So
185,000 users, or is it enterprises with multiple machines?
no, so we need to understand that
Did you just time me?
okay. You keep on trying to make those as users. They're not. They're some of them are miners now. Some of them have claimed and became miners. Some people have claimed and created accounts, and they are using Tweakit. Some of them are, but of the 180,000, all of them have not been able to claim their tokens and move them on chain. That's what we're going to enable with the Wire Network deal. Okay. That moment, we believe a lot of those are going to want to extend their journey with CPUcoin. And now that they're on chain, and now that they can move them freely, and now that they can participate, we're going to incentivize them actually to become a miner and give them extra tokens for waiting and being patient and all that kind of good stuff as part of the process of claiming those. But the 180,000 people were token buyers on CoinPro. I don't want to get this confused, that were from an airdrop that we did, where they were incentivized to come, look at our, Twitter, to come and do a number of tasks. That was what CoinPro was all about. Do tasks, earn crypto, right? And there are new versions of that out there, and there's a lot of new ways of doing that. But our whole goal is to make good with the community, expand that community, and do more of these kinds of great podcasts and Q&A, AMAs, so that people understand that we're here for the long haul, and we're doing all the heavy lifting to make real services that are going to buy CPUcoin off the open market from producing real proof of productive work mining.
Yeah.
So the miners are not hashing; they're proof of productive work. Right.
Yeah. And so I have a question. I have another question, and then we have a crowd question. What guardrails would help avoid pitfalls on the way to a sharing economy?
Guardrails. Well, I mean, honestly,
what does this sandbox look like to help it build along the way?
Well, I mean, I think that this is the. I mean, if you understand that by making a choice on our layer one chain, that is what I think is the most advanced next gen network that's built for enterprise services and enterprise services migration, that's a really big deal. And I can't emphasize it more. And I talk about the Wire Network deal for a reason. It's because it saved us a ton of R&D and put us firmly, squarely in a position to scale and test and run things on the edge, and all kinds of deals are part of that. So we're going to be powering the Venkman project with them, because they already have that deal and announced it with Bill Murray. We already have these incredible new opportunities that are coming to the table as a result of that deal alone. So we're very busy in creating connectivity and capabilities that allows us to have an audience that will consume CPUcoin and utilize the compute, as much compute as we can connect into, right? So it's a bit of a balancing act. So these are good questions, but we already have lots of capacity. The current network that we have is somewhere in the neighborhood of 140 machines that are on the edge, one of which is like 60 in Poland, with very high speed connectivity. We actually have a direct conversation happening with those guys. And, people are saying, hey, if this is the next big proof of productive mining utility token, why not? Right? CPU, GPU, VPU, it's all under CPU, right? And
Yeah.
it's all under CPUcoin. We think if people are, well, it's CPUcoin. Do you do GPU? Well, of course we do GPU, right? So, you had to make it one. You don't want to call it CGV, right?
Mhm.
Right? People wouldn't know what that means. So,
Yeah.
so this one says, if someone wants, I see a question here. Do you want me to answer
Yep.
this? Okay.
Yeah. If
Someone
someone
wants to set up
wants to,
mining.
this is from J2 Cyber Design. If someone wants to
Okay.
set up a mining operation for CPUcoin, is there a way for miners to determine what type of compute is most in demand on the network? And this is where I think you're breaking up the CPU versus GPU. It's all one under the name CPUcoin, correct?
Right. It's all on one under the name CPUcoin. And I think maybe their question is related to, if I want to earn more,
Mm-hmm.
how do I say I'm a GPU miner, right? And we've got some models we're looking at here. We don't want to announce anything yet, but this may start getting into the requirement of stake, where you stake, if you're a GPU miner or even a VPU miner, or if you're a big time A100, H200, or H100, A100 GPU, we might require a stake, because the biggest issue that we have is we don't right now. The whole concept of the network is we don't know if you're on. If you're on, I'm sorry, we don't know. We know if you're on, but we don't know if you're going to be around. Right? Are you here for the short term? Are you transitory? Are you on and off all day? Are you on a portable? Are you on a data center machine that's got persistent high speed connectivity? So we might get into the staking concept that a lot of people use, related to, adding to, kind of a security component to it. We actually have if you go look at our white paper, you'll see a number of different statuses. So there's 1, 2, A and B, 3, and 4. Where 4 is, we don't know who you are, no KYC, AML. You can process if you want to. If you're a company that's Walmart, and you have a billion images you need to process for your new website, to reprocess them all in 14 different sizes, you'll be able to do that on the tier 4 of CPUcoin network, and do that at a way lower cost. But if you want, want to know that the users have KYC, AML on the users, that's level 2A versus level 2B. So we've thought of a lot of these things, and at the end of the day, the most important thing is to show the intent and to be able to execute. And execution, I think, is one of the biggest problems in this industry. It used to be that I would go to every trade show and I'd talk to everyone and see what they're doing. Now I go to a trade show after the Wire Network deal, and it's like dead men are walking. I mean, I literally go there and I'm like, you can't, that's not going to work. That's going to die. That doesn't work. There's all these issues around how people are doing things, and are they going to be able to execute? I've seen it happen over and over again, actually. So the ability to execute and having the core fundamental technologies is where we are and what we've spent a lot of time on. And now it's time to build the SaaS solutions, and build and get all the different GPUs on board, and make it so that you can select data, can say SAS 70 only is this status. So it's going to be SAS 70 data centers only are going to do my processing, and that has to be auditable, right? So all of that is, it's a lot of work, but we have the technology now to do it.
And so you're working within those realms of being regulatory compliant, but also protecting your users in a decentralized manner. I'm going to roll back just a little bit. I see that there's some questions from J2 Cyber Design that I want to get to.
Oh, sure.
But I want to squirrel, because you mentioned one of my favorite projects that I've seen since it launched, Venkman Project by Gavin Giles, and down there in Austin. Explain to everyone what Venkman Project is. Explain the name first so people get it.
Well, Venkman, right, is it's Ghostbusters, right? It's Bill Murray's brand, if you will. Now,
Peter Venkman, yeah, Peter
Venkman, right? And so, look, I all I know is what I've been told. We are Wire Network is the selected provider to work with the Venkman Project. The Venkman Project is about celebrity NFTs and communities. And you can go to Venkman, I think it's venkmanproject.org or venkmanproject.com. Go look it up. It pops right up. And you see Bill Murray's NFTs are right there on there. And it's his baby, apparently. Him and the team, the tech team. So it's very exciting. And we are to be that edge network, but also I also started all of this before I met Wire with the missing middleware layer concept, where you've got the need to have a way to mint things that are not little tiny images. And how do you make things that are large be optimized for a screen? I've been doing that my whole life. I mean, I have the issued patents on dynamic imaging and auto assembly of video, where you can auto assemble frames of content and do that, in a decentralized way, actually. So it's a lot of tech required to make that resilient, fault tolerant, and fail safe. And so to be able to redirect to the right asset and have that renditioned, tracked, and ready is what the media rich server does, and what the miner will do on an edge network. So that the missing layer 2 is that when I want to mint an HD NFT Photoshop file, let's say it's 200 megabytes, how do you view that? If you go to most NFT sites today, in my opinion, just delivering a thumbnail is too slow. Just a little thumbnail on the screen. Go look at it. Go try it out. You tick, 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 tick shows up on the screen. No, you go to a media-rich enabled website, it goes, everything's just, because the server, the media generator, removes the speed issues related to serving up the right content. And the first time there might be a slight delay, but the next million requests, you don't know we're there, because we automatically redirect to the right asset. So we need that same missing middleware layer for high definition NFTs, and that has to be persistent. And so that takes some new tech, where you've got the ability to mint content, and then down the road, let's say in 20 years, I want to recall this NFT that's been inactive because it's been sold, and display it. How do you do that from a 200 megabyte Photoshop file that's a legacy format that might be in 20 years completely different? Well, that's what our tech is. Our tech normalizes from the original, renditions it, generates that new rendition in the server cache, and then the next, the requests get delivered very high speed from that missing middleware layer, if you will. So that's a very good question.
Yeah, and so just so people know, because I know this on Project Venkman and stuff like that, one of the things that's behind Project Venkman, if anyone goes to any Chili's bar or anything that has a whole bunch of TV screens, and you see like those little like YouTube clips, and you see Chive TV, TV is the backbone that powers Project Venkman. So there's a cool tie in there.
I've heard, and I don't know the details. Maybe we should have a whole section, a whole thing with the Wire Network guys and talk about that, because I don't know the details, because I really can't talk about Chive and what they're doing there. If they're doing, I don't know, you know what I mean? I can. What I mean is I don't know how much. I don't know how much Wire's involved with Chive at this point.
Yeah,
I would just put it that way. No.
All right, and so I have some other questions, but I want to go to the crowd. We've gotten some good questions from like J2 Cyber Design. So they want to know what pays the most, and I think we were talking between the subscription model of CPUcoin and the freeware. Can you talk about the differences on that?
Are you talking about? So as far as how much you can earn? So today we have an opportunity, and that opportunity will be around only so long, because as we start getting into integration with Wire, and we start launching our mainnet launch with them and a number of different products, the old testnet opportunities that you see now online are going to be gone. So you can go right now and you can see that there's a free 10 CPUcoin for installing, the miner per day. So you get 10 CPU coin a day, and CPU coin's a penny right now on the open market, something like that. We think that's going to change relatively soon. I can't really talk about price and where it's going to go, but at the end of the day, it is where it is. And so you get 10 CPU coin a day. And like I said, some people are, installing, they have 60 miners and they're getting 600 CPU coin a day, right?
Yeah.
By just having 60 miners. Now, some people might want to just have one miner and get 500 CPU coin a day. And you can do that by, doing the platinum plan. There's also a plan below that. I think it's 250 a day. And that's just a way of contributing to the project and earning more on less compute, basically. And we will take that compute and we will learn from that compute and we will process with that compute. And you get on top of that, there's one of the things that we did was create an open source. One of the first things I did was create an ERC20 token smart contract that allows us to deliver tokens and have a lockup period based on, delivering it into a wallet. And then in a year from now, the wallet comes, your extra bonus tokens comes unlocked a year from now. So I'm just doing that right now. Somebody just asked about, could you explain the reasoning for a mining subscription? That's what I'm effectively describing. It's a way of participating in the project now and earning with less compute effectively, so that we get the data and we get the computing power, but you don't have to set up a whole bunch of machines to have that same amount of earnings, if that makes any sense. It's a way of effectively staking and supporting the project at the same time. Yeah.
So, okay, so I have a hard question here, and this might be an copy editing issue within the website. On the website, it says 1 CPU coin per day, but you just said 10.
Well, that might be in some little subsection, but if you go to the downloads area, it shows you there's a whole overview, and there the free says 10, unless that's changed. Yeah.
Okay, it's under
it might
the
be somewhere else. It
section.
says 1 CPU.
Okay, but it is someone can earn up to 10 CPU coin per day
just by installing the miner right now. Yep.
Okay, but so if they're installing the miner, they earn 10 CPU coin for installing the miner.
And how much? And leaving it on. See, that's the thing. Remember, we're tracking how much CPU time is available for how long during the day. So basically, if you leave it on for 1 hour, you get 1/24th of a CPU coin.
Okay,
that's all part of the system to understand and determining what the person should be paid. And effectively, right now, you're making your compute available and your bandwidth available, and we're paying you proportionally to how long you have the compute on. So we recommend, have a nice little screensaver going, but make sure you don't sleep.
Okay, so you can earn up to 1 CPU coin per day?
10.
All right.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean 1. I said 10, and you would get but that's every 24 hours for 24-hour continuous availability. So if you're on the miner network, you get 10 CPU coin a day. If you buy one of the programs, you get that number plus the bonuses.
Okay, and the bonus equals to roughly 1,250 or so? Roughly?
No. The bonuses, I mean, we can share the screen if you want. I could share
Would love to. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Let's do that.
Let me bring that up and so people can see that. Yeah. So if we go to,
because I hate finding discrepancies, and I like to, because we try to be on chain as much as possible. And so if there's discrepancies, I want to address them, because consistency and transparency is some of my key things. And so while you're looking that up, can you dig a little bit into the mining subscription?
What? Oh, sorry. Hold on 1 second.
Yep.
I've got something coming into my ear. I just realized that I need to turn off. Hold on 1 second.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry about that. I had the the YouTube feed, so it was actually starting to play it from the beginning. So I apologize. Yeah. So I'm
Okay.
going to share this screen with you. Let's see. And we're going to just share screen. Um, oh no.
What do you need me to
Okay.
do?
Unfortunately, yeah, Shu, if you just go to the website, it looks like it's going to restart. So I can't do that. I'll just turn it on.
I will go to
Uh,
CPUcoin.io
yeah,
and
we should have
I'll put
pre-flighted that. Sorry about that.
that's
Yeah,
my
so it's going to
fault.
quit. It's going to quit and reopen. So I'm not going to do that. So if you just go to
I got you.
CPUcoin.io, yeah. No,
Yep.
my bad. My bad. I should have done that myself. So if you go to CPUcoin.io and share your screen, you'll see on the top there where it says CPU Coin Testnet. Go to downloads.
Yep.
Yeah, and you can zoom in on that. You scroll down. Basically, the plans are right here. So it shows you right here that it's 15 CPU coin a day. If it's an annual subscription, and you get
Okay.
15 CPU coin a day and a 5,000 token bonus. That's a 1 year lockup, and just go
Okay.
up the plans. So you can get up to 100,000 bonus CPU coin with a 1 year. It's a 1 year lockup and 500 CPU coin a day.
Okay.
Right. So
And
500
and
times
then
365. Do the math. So
yeah.
it's a way to add value to our network and at the same time receive bonuses for your contribution.
All right. So right here it does say earn up to 10 CPU coin per
Yeah.
day. And then I think it is, let me find, I think it's within the setup, the important note section of once someone starts their CPU miner download, that there's a copy issue with
No worries.
where it says
That's
one.
we'll look for that and fix that later. But this is where you need to look at. This is what you get, and
all right.
Mhm.
So, and then next up we have it sounds like you're getting paid CPU coin for providing compute to the test network, not for the work your system is actually doing. Because this is a test network.
Well, that's because it's because it is a test network, but it is actually doing productive workloads for real services. So it's working with the Tweak It service initially, and when we launch with Wire, that will be the full, effectively mainnet launch, if you will, and then we will no longer be a test net. And as we start paying for processing and we start having additional margin that we can provide for GPU and other processing, we will start paying for the actual compute that you do for us and not just the simple testnet operations happening today.
So people could eventually possibly earn more.
Correct. Yes. If you've got let's say you have a monster A100, and we can serve up, lots of, generative AI with that. You might get, 1 cent per image or half a cent an image generated kind of thing, where and that would be paid in CPU coin. So it's the concept there is to take the margin and provide a percentage of it to the miner, the other percentage of it to the service provider, another percentage to the reseller, and it's all in one transaction. That's the key that enables this to be resilient and scalable, is that every transaction is finalized as part of the whole microtransaction. And we we even have in our model the ability for enterprises, let's say, to donate a piece of every transaction to their favorite charity or what have you. So we're intending on building that into what we're doing as well.
All right. One of the things that I wanted to sort of also talk on, and we can go through here, I will have to be walk through to where it is, but we wanted to talk on Tweak It. And then what was the other project that we wanted to talk on the generative AI side?
Well, that's for the fuse it. I might have to reconnect
Fuse
because
it.
I should show you the demo on that if you wanted me to show you what
Okay.
that's going to be. Yeah. So if you want me to really quickly
You
reconnect, I
should
can do that.
you should just be able to open up another tab
Oh, good idea. Let
and
me try that. Yeah.
open another
Uh,
tab and then
mhm.
using the present share screen and share that tab because it's fuseit.ai, correct? Or is
No,
it
yeah, but that yeah, that's it's fuse it.ai, but that is not it's not that's going to map to tweak it still. So,
okay.
yeah.
But okay, so I'll wait for you to pull that up then as
It's
another tab.
fuzit.ai, but that's going to map to tweak it. Hold on one second. You want me to get a demo going on that? Hold on.
I do.
Okay, hold on.
I
Let me
want
see what
this.
happens
I
here.
want this demo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe this is going to work now. Let's see here. Brave tab. Okay.
This episode has been brought to you by Brave Wardrobe. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see if this works. I don't think this is going to work. It's still requiring me to restart. So I think
You should just be able to open up another tab, and then you won't have to leave this tab at all.
Later. Okay. Let me try that. And
Yep.
I see what you're saying because it's a security issue with the Apple OS, though.
Yeah. Okay.
So
yeah.
Unfortunately, I think I'm going to have to. I'll be right back. How does that sound?
Right back. And while you're back, I'm going to talk. I can talk.
All right. Hold on one second. Let me just go ahead and do this.
All right. So so far we've sort of covered the application processes of CPUcoin. One of the things that I wanted to go into and just share a little bit because I like to deep dive onto things. And I'm not actually talking about token price and stuff like that. I'm talking about tokenomic pieces. And so as we get this, we're going to show where we're at, a little bit of token movement and stuff like that. The token is available for those both providing miner services. You can get it on Probit Global. You can get it on MEXC. You can also buy either on 1inch or any Ethereum aggregator, as well as directly on Uniswap as well. I've seen on chain that CPUcoin has made one-sided liquidity pools within Uniswap so that people can buy the token and not necessarily have to go a centralized route through either Probit or through MEXC. Looks like we have Sean back, so we're going to go back to this. GM, Sean.
Hey, man. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you just fine.
Cool. And it says I can share a screen, so let me just go ahead and share the window itself. Actually, I'm going to bring this over here and share the window and say share. And so you should be seeing my window now. Is that? Oh, beautiful. Nice.
Yep.
So you might be familiar with Civet AI. Some people may. This is a wonderful, where models come to rest and can be deployed and installed and used. We have a demo. This is assume that this is fuseit.ai, but this is really being done. Tweak it is usable as in part of the demo because you can ingest anything for the image to image functionality. But I just want to show you that if you take from Civet AI and you put a model in here, let's see what's going on here. Let's go here. Okay. And you want to, let's say you wanted to, import a prompt from anywhere. And by the way, you can connect this. The import is just so it enables anybody to move prompts into here very simply and easily. And it has the seed info and it has the sampler, etc., and it has everything selected. It allows us to then just simply hit the fuse it button. So understand what's going on here. So I've taken something that already exists elsewhere with a very specific model requirement. It's in this case, it looks like I believe it's deliberate is being used, and it's actually. Let me just go ahead and make sure that that's the one being used. I'm gonna let me just there it is. Okay, so you see the gal that was just generated. You can see my screen, okay?
Yep, perfect.
Okay. And I you can see that it was generated pretty quickly. This is using just one of the CGN miners currently that has GPU support. And that request went out to the mining network and did the processing. I can go in here and change this to be, a dog standing before fire. And let's see here. I think there's another place where I have to change it.
Astronaut girl, portrait armored astronaut girl.
Second
line.
Second line. There it is. Astronaut dog. And I hit the fuse it button. So just to get a basic standing. It is using a seed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the random button. We're going to finish this processing. And it did that already. So I'm going to do another one, and let's see what happens. So yeah, there you go. So the concept here is that anybody now can use our service, but use it at one. So let's say you're on ChatGPT, and you want to generate an image like this. It's going to cost you 4 cents per image, and that adds up. If you're going and you're iterating, it can be, 40 iterations to get to what you finally want. Each image is going to cost you 4 cents. We're 0.04 cents or something like that. And that gets paid out to the GPU that is doing the processing. You can then take this, you can select this one and bring it over here. And then you can refine it. And now you're doing image to image. And I'm going to just do, 3 more with image to image. And it's going to generate refined versions of it. You can change it, tweak it, etc. And then when you're done, you can then do the next part of it, which is prepare your image for final use. So using the tweak it tech. Effectively, this is a huge market. There's all kinds of companies that have launched generative AI apps. Generally speaking, they cost anywhere between, $20 a month, to $1 a month plus fees, to the list goes on and on. But the concept here is clear. And that is that when you go to Civit AI, there's all kinds of models, and all of those models require special, configurations and models that have to be available to do the high quality results you're seeing here that are then modifiable. Our edge network automatically pulls the model, prepares it, does the processing, and leaves it available for future other users. And then if it's not available in that machine at the time, it will unload the one and put in a new one and do that on the fly. So that's really an important part of generative AI, is being able to do high quality results that are then we can say cancel and say go next and go to the processing of the capability on the network. I forgot to click on this, and this is just a demo, so please bear with me on that. So IO demo. Okay, so you can I'll just select another one just to give people the idea of other kinds of things you can do with it. Why is this not where are you? There we go. Astronaut riding a horse, astronaut riding. Well, we'll do that one first. But here's the thing: tweak it and fuse it. You can use the widget. You can use the tools. It's all downloadable. You can also just pop it in your own UI, and then you're just making API calls. And then all you need is an account on the that has the pricing. Notice one thing though: if you look here, you'll see that The API calls are
Mm-hmm.
1/10. You get 10 times as many at any of the servers. So literally for $9.95, you get 10,000 at Cloudinary.
Okay.
Right? So you get 100,000 at CPUcoin. Yeah, with the CPUcoin powered network and Tweak It. So that's the key. We have lower price, decentralization, scalable, high quality, and it's a sustainable edge network.
And there's a free version I saw.
And there is a free version, which is what you're seeing on the test net, is you got 10,000 API calls per account for free per month.
Yeah.
Right. So we have this, and to take a look at it, you see it's got a robot. It's got a little robotic looking horse here. But let's go ahead and just change that to a giraffe.
Okay.
And hit the fuse it button. So, starting with a seed model and using deliberate, and an astronaut riding a horse is imported from another location, and we are now getting very high quality results. And then you can do things like LoRa scaling to make a poster size image, right?
Okay.
You can, we have the upscaler, we have all the different capabilities that are needed, and we're doing that very scalably, and we're doing it so that we very quickly can expand and adjust the network to meet new needs, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, that's the Fuse It demo, and there you go.
And now we have an astronaut riding a giraffe on the moon.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. And I like that the fact that they sort of put the giraffe in an astronaut suit a little bit as well. Oh my gosh. I love this.
Exactly. Stuff. Exactly. So
all right. Oh, so, it's a robotic giraffe. Yeah. So yeah. All right. So right now this DApp piece, that is the dapp-qa.tweakit.io/demo. Is that available for people to use, the general public to use?
I mean, you can go play with it. The Tweak It app is there and functioning, and you can use it. This is just if you want to go play. We're probably gonna have to rename it now, because it's not ready for prime time. We're just in the middle of adding everything into it and making it so all the models can be supported and scalable, etc.
Yeah.
So, but you're seeing me doing the final thing here. I'm editing the results, and you can have a background color, make the background transparent, and I can hit the Tweak It button, and now that's going off and sending that out to the network and giving me a final image that I can then download.
Okay.
Right.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. This isn't a question. It's more of a statement someone made. So nice setup for generative AI, stable diffusion type work. It's pretty daunting for a newbie to get this stuff set up and running properly if you want something beyond Midjourney and Dolly. And you don't need a $2,000 GPU setup. So
that's the
huge
thing.
shout out to J2 Cyber Design for that, for seeing that.
Yeah, no, that's a fact. That's one of the biggest things that people don't quite realize is you can go and try and do generative AI, and you can download free stuff. You can install it, and then you go to use it. I just actually downloaded the Morpheus stuff. I just took out, and it's all giving you garbage results. It's all just early. So we're trying to say, hey, what do you need to actually do very high quality results and do it without paying any setup? As a matter of fact, we're going to make it so that if you want to use generative AI, you install our miner, and then your compute, if it has GPU availability, you'll be able to earn your points to use to do generative AI, right? So that's the whole idea, right? You've got a utility token, you're earning it, and then you're using it to use the services. So we think there's a huge, it's greenfield, like I said, for that. I mean, every user that is a Photoshop user or generative AI user can install our miner. And if you've got a GPU machine, you don't have to set up anything. You allow us to use your GPU, and you're getting paid CPUcoin, and you might be paying for your whole computer. Forget your generative AI with that, right? So as long as it's got capabilities, and you give us the ability to load and install the LLMs that we need to do the high quality generative AI, you've got an A100 or whatever installed. Wow. you're going to be able to earn a bunch of CPU coin, on a daily basis if you leave it on and use it yourself too. Yeah.
I was having a little bit of fun. I'm going to steal the screen for a second.
Okay.
Because I'm a little hungry, so a dog eating a sandwich, is something that I started, they made a little bit of a human dog there. So I got to put some negative prompts into it to make it.
There you go. Yeah. That's where it gets into like what model you're in and what you're trying to do. And
yeah. And I can, what's really cool is I love it because you can use all of the different models that are available. When talking AI, I'm a little weird. I don't say model, I say modal.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a weird thing. So I separate models from modals, when it comes to AI. I'm just a weird person like that. So, yeah, there's some fun stuff there that we're seeing. But I clicked on something else. So yeah, just Sean, I want to take the time and say thank you for joining us today. There's a lot of stuff coming up with CPUcoin, and so part of the support cases that we're giving to you at Raise is we're helping you with the final push of your raise. Out of a $5 million raise that we're doing. What is that being used for? And this is for non-US investors, accredited or non-accredited outside the United States. So none of this is financial advice or financial permissions within the United States and stuff like that. But because we serve a worldwide audience, and if people want to get involved and become, a part owner, get on the cap table of CPUcoin, please reach out, let us know.
Well, first of all, just to be clear, we're doing a utility token sale, and it is as a Cayman Foundation company. We are a true utility token, and you can participate from exchanges. Is this showing my screen? Let's see. Did that work?
I got it turned off.
Would you okay. I was going to show you. I was going to show something, but anyway, that's fine.
Yeah.
Basically, there's a 2,500 to 500K max. It's a 2.5 cent 390-day lockup. That is available on raise.finance. And if you're a member there, you can check it out. I believe you've already gone through. I guess there's some pools available for smaller token buyers that want to have the utility token software available to them to use in a future for future services, etc. We're all in. We're all excited. The 5K is we really need to expand the team, both marketing wise, exchanges. We intend on launching on a couple of larger exchanges this year, and to work on a number of marketing initiatives and product releases. So we have a number of really good guys standing by that worked with me on a number of different patents and technologies in the past. And that's one of the reasons why we're doing a 5 million raise. We intend to, if you look at the model, we intend on then doing in 5 quarters a 25 million raise after that, so we can really scale this. I'm a go big or go home guy. I mean, the media rich tech that has the multi-threaded multi-processing and all the capabilities was about 300 man years of R&D, developed over 20 years, that is used to power some of the largest B2B portals and websites in the world. And that a subset of that is now the miner and does decentralized edge processing currently. And we're going to be expanding that, like I say, to do all the things we talked about today, and really to make it so it's possible to have other people launch their services on our network in a secure fashion, both for the network and for their capabilities.
So we're gonna close this up soon, but I want to end with some of the key partners, because you have some big claims on clients, and I want to either touch on those because this is stuff like that, you know, and you know, so you have like Walmart, Adidas, Reebok, Disney,
Yeah,
SC Johnson.
mhm. Yeah, so if you look at that particular slide,
Mhm.
that's on Ray's, those are clients that either were or currently are using the MediaRich server to power their initiatives. So Adidas is a customer today. They process every week approximately, the last data they gave me is about 800,000 images a week to distribute those images to all kinds of initiatives around the globe automatically. Elsevier processes all the coverage you see on Amazon.com and all 30 other partners with MediaRich. And Disney, Sony, and Warner Brothers were customers for over 15 years each. And we powered at Disney Co. Something called the Vision System, which was 30,000 marketing people in Disney Co. self-served 9 billion assets over that period of time from within the network, where our system allows you to select an asset, no matter what it originally is. You want to export it out, and you can on-demand transcode it and deliver it. And so that capability is available in Tweakit. It's going to be available in their AI capability. It's going to be available with HLS streaming and auto assembly of video and all these other capabilities. EQnetwork.com is a new updated version of our video site that will be turned into a Web3 minting platform, where you can, at Equilibrium, you can go and upload high definition NFT videos and turn them into NFTs that will be minted, and you'll be able to view them. So and that's EQnetwork.com currently.
Yeah.
And so, and there's an app as well, an iOS app. So there's so many places that need our tech. That's why we do B2B2C. So we create a tech that's hosted cloud service that anybody can adopt and use, and you know, just pay as they go using our SaaS model. And so, yeah, we have a lot of different companies that have used our technology over the years, and that's the reason why, you know, we have 8 issued patents as well, and we have CDNs using our tech, and if they're either they're infringing or they're paying us. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Nice. All right. So as we wrap this up, Sean, we end TacoBytes every way the same way. So 547 episodes. Final thoughts and words of wisdom.
Final thoughts are that if you're interested in people that are serious about helping to sustainably upgrade the web to be more secure and easier to use, and you get rid of the junk and all of the login issues and the 2FA authentication that's everywhere, that's just bogging everyone down, and you want to have a next generation, you know, be in your bag, you know, a next generation utility token that you know, that will succeed in many different fronts, you know, that's what CPUcoin is all about. Words of wisdom. Since I skipped college, I will give you my one T-shirt and how I did it. Ready? Any goal clarified daily and executed upon shall be realized. TM.
Okay. All right. Any goal. I
clarified
like that.
Daily and executed upon shall be realized. That's my words of wisdom.
All right. That's sort of close to mine, as I end every episode with the same words of wisdom and the best, worst knock joke on the face of the planet. So my words of wisdom are always the same. Sean, thank you so much for joining us. My words of wisdom are: a closed mouth cannot be fed, and you cannot feed a closed mouth. Meaning, if no one knows you're looking for opportunity, opportunity can never come a knocking. If opportunity does come knocking and no one answers, it's going to keep on walking. Pew, 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 pew. But shout out and love to everyone joining us on LinkedIn, Player One Taco, YouTube, 0x Degens, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, Unlonely, Rumble, Kick, and Telegram. Huge shout out to everyone for all the questions, and thank you for that. And we end on the worst joke on the face of the planet. We've told this 547 times.
Okay.
Sean, are you ready for it?
Go.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?